So, how did I do first time?
Did very well. You should be proud of yourself.
That's good. Oh, it's like knackering as well. Like, I think it's just because it's one thing after the other.
Yeah, you
and
have
on
no
the row
time
and then
to
on the
stop.
back, you got no time to just catch your breath.
No.
But the Olympic lifted, that was really good for me actually.
And Paul is good, isn't it? Explaining things. But you just have to keep going.
How'd I do, Paul?
It's alright?
How'd I do?
Yeah, it's good.
First time. Okay.
Got you snatching.
So that's it. First CrossFit workout done. Absolutely knackering, but amazing. So thank you to Paul, thank you to the guys at CrossFit 252. Definitely be back again. It's nice to work out in a group. It's nice to work out with a bunch of people rather than just on your own. Normally when you're at the gym, it's just stick your headphones in and crack on. But I love the idea of everybody's in it together. We're all doing the same exercise, we're all doing the same workout, sharing the machines, sharing the tips, sharing the motivation. I love that. So, and it's nice to have a trainer, someone working you as well, pushing you, showing you correct technique. So that was amazing. Definitely be back again. Now it's time to get home, get showered, do some work. Sometime around the start of 2018, I started to have a massive shift in the way I saw myself and the world. And the full story is for another time, but the idea is that I started to change my thinking a lot. And I started to subscribe to what's now known as the growth mindset, although I didn't know it was called that at the time. I started to read books on meditation, on mindfulness, on health, on business. I started to make my bed first thing in the morning when I woke up, and that really set the tone for the day. I got back into journaling and rekindled my love for music. I had this saying going around in my head, how you do anything is how you do everything. And even though now I still have a long way to go before many of my goals are met, I wanted to be able to look back and at least say I was doing better than I was yesterday. Carol Dweck in her book Mindset talks about the difference between what she calls a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So someone with a fixed mindset might say something like, either I'm good at something or I'm not, that's just the way that it is. Whereas a growth mindset person would say, if I'm not good at something, I can always become better at it through practice, through time. Someone who had a fixed mindset will be more likely to say something like, I can't learn now, it's too late, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Where again, a growth mindset person will believe I can gain the skills that I need to become excellent at something anytime that I choose to. A fixed mindset person might believe that they feel threatened by other people when they try to give them feedback. They take it personally, they take it to heart. They might also believe that there's no point trying if I'm just going to fail at something. And also they might believe that other people's success is a kind of threat to them. Growth mindset people take the complete opposite approach. They believe that there's always something you can learn from feedback, no matter how seemingly negative. That if you struggle at something, you feel like you're gonna fail, great, it's an opportunity for growth, it's an opportunity to learn at something, you can always do better. And when they see other people succeed, they think, great, then I can too. All it takes is as much hard work as they've given before I can do that thing. So how can you tell if you're a growth mindset person or a fixed mindset person? Well, look, they're not mutually exclusive. People tend to have a little bit of both. There might be some things that they respond really well to and they are growth mindset in, whilst other things they're quite closed-minded, quite fixed mindset about. But you can tend to sort of feel like you shunt towards one or the other. So there's a famous diagram that shows that. Now the key here isn't to go, oh my gosh, I'm a fixed mindset person. That means I'm this, I'm that, and you beat yourself up about it. That defeats the complete point of it. The idea is recognizing what you are and being able to improve upon it. Similarly, a growth mindset person shouldn't fall into the trap of thinking that they're superior and that they've got it all together. That's a fixed mindset thing. At the time that I would have described myself more as a fixed mindset person, a lot of these beliefs and ideas about who I was were rooted in fear, and therefore that was a super unhealthy way to live. When you begin to change your relationship with stress and failure, you begin to realize that those things don't define you. Instead, they become your most powerful learning tools to grow. A few months ago, I heard a saying, environment is stronger than willpower. And it started to get me thinking, is that true? Is that really the case? And I started to think about hobbies and interests and skills that I developed, things that I developed over years, not fleeting things. And it got me thinking about my music. I used to play a lot of music, and the way that I developed learning to play the instruments that I played. And at first it was very much environment. I was brought up in a place where we had instruments in the house or access to those kind of technologies. I played in a band because my friends were all into music. And so very much the environment was music. But then after a while, as my friends started to leave music, or they weren't that interested in guitar or singing anymore, the bands kind of faded out and stopped playing, or family members stopped playing music themselves because they were working full-time jobs. There was a point, there was a decision to be made, and I was still so interested in music, and that's when it transitioned over from environment to willpower for me. And I think that's when it became such a stronger thing, because at that point I was taking music much more seriously. I was looking at doing my grades, going to university to study music, and then working as a professional musician. So I actually had to up my game quite a lot, and that required quite a lot of discipline and things that I'd not really thought about in music before. See, no one had to tell me to play guitar, no one had to tell me to play piano, no one had to encourage me to practice before, but actually there'd come this point where I had to decide for myself to practice 6 to 8 hours a day at something over and over and over again, even when it became monotonous and boring, because there was this result, this end goal that I wanted to get to. So that was completely at that point driven by willpower, not environment. So that's the transition that I want to make with a lot of my habits, with a lot of my changes this year, is transitioning from a place of environment, surrounding yourself with good people, which I think you should do. I think is so important when you're building a new habit, when you're wanting to try something for the first time, especially when you're wanting it to have long-term effects. Get yourself around the right people. This is what I've tried to do with working out, with going to the gym. I've tried to meet with as many people as possible and get as many good people in my life who know about exercise, who are doing it themselves, who have healthy habits, and kind of learn from them really, and see what they do and see what works. And then I want to be able to transition that, so when I'm on my own, look, you know, when you're at home and no one's watching and you're deciding whether to eat that extra cookie or whether to leave it alone, or when you're deciding, again, no one might be around, whether to go to the gym or whether to skip it, these are the decisions that we have to make. So that's where I want to transition to this year, out of environment and into willpower. So here are 3 things that I believe that you can do that will get you into a good mindset. Number 1, get around the right people, get your environment right. Be around people who encourage and build up your dreams rather than shoot them down. Are your friends the kind of people that every time you mention a new idea or something you like to change about yourself, they laugh at you and they shoot your ideas down? Or are they the kind of people that go, yeah, go for it. In fact, even one step further, I'll come and do it with you. I'll come on that journey with you. Number 2, become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Try using the weight rack if it's something that you don't normally do at the gym, to try and add some resistance. Try public speaking or stand up or something that you would never normally do, to push yourself out of your comfort zone. The more you do that, the more you expose yourself to stress, to risk, to new things, the more you will open up explosively the possibility for growth. Number 3, realize that the little things matter. I mentioned earlier about making my bed first thing when I wake up in the morning, and I actually got that idea from a William McRaven talk, graduation talk that I saw.
If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made.
As you begin to transition from environment to a willpower bias, you'll start to realize how much those little things matter. All the stuff that you do when nobody else is around, and all the things that prepare you for the days, weeks, and months ahead. Try things like sticking post-it notes around your house to remind you of things that you want to do, or phrases that really motivate you. Or do like I did, make a vision board for the year ahead and start to actually track if you're doing these things. Are you getting your 3 workouts a week in? You know, are you saving up for that holiday you'd like to go on? You know, are you paying off your mortgage ahead of schedule? You know, are you starting a vlog? Are you whatever it is that you want to do? Be intentional and place these things around your everyday space so that you can see them and be reminded of them as soon as you wake up and throughout your day. As I was researching this video, I came across people who we would now consider have kind of made it. They were working as waiters, holding down 3 jobs, single parents before they got their big break. People like Samuel L. Jackson, people like J.K. Rowling, people like Henry Ford. And it's very easy to look at them now and kind of think, well, yeah, of course, that, you know, they made it, they needed that big break, and it came all of a sudden. But that hard work was going on way behind the scenes for years. All those drafts, all those failed projects, all those inventions that broke before they got to that point where we could now consider them kind of successful. And I think all of these guys were over 35 before they made their kind of big break, as it were. And it really got me thinking about myself and the way that I see success, and actually starting to measure things over time rather than waiting for a big break or waiting for the deadline to put in the work. If you remember in last time's video, Robin asked me, what would I like for this year? What's one thing that I would like to be or to do? And I said, consistency. Finally, I have to remind myself that we don't always get to choose what happens to us in life, but we do get to choose how to respond to it. See you next time.